Pleased now to welcome Kade Ruotolo. Kade, you said in there that you're a little bit disappointed to a degree, but so many of the fans have been loving having you in one and what you showed us out there. Now that you've had a little bit more time for it to sink in, what's your overall impression of your one debut?
To be honest, I'm still not 100% content with my performance. Every time I go into a match, my goal is to get the submission. And under the last rule set, it would have been a draw, right? So, and looking forward, that's definitely what I'm pushing for. Even more, I mean, Shinya did an amazing job of keeping really good wrist control, and he really didn't make any mistakes, any big mistakes. So I really just kept trying to push the pace.
Well, it's great to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about your overall experience since you joined during fight week and then lead up to the fight? What was going through your mind?
Absolutely, it's been unreal, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's been amazing. I've never been in a production like this big. The lights, the energy, and the atmosphere in the room, it was one of a kind. And after experiencing that tonight, I wish I was going again tomorrow.
It seemed like pretty one-way traffic there for most of the 10 minutes. Did you feel like you were in control the whole time?
Yeah, for sure. I felt in control. I didn't feel in danger really at any point in the match. Um, like I said, I was just really trying to get the submission, find the sub, and Shinya was doing such a great job of not really making too big of mistakes. I think one thing looking back I could have done differently is maybe give a little bit more space and some of those stalemates and kind of maybe look for him to overcommit to something. I think I was maybe forcing it a bit, but yeah.
How did the fight go in terms of how you might have visualized it? Did it go as expected?
Yeah, I think for sure I expected to out wrestle him on the feet. My brother and I, we both have a lot of confidence in our wrestling. Got to a couple positions, some of my go-tos. It went how I expected to a degree. To be 100% honest, I thought for sure I was going to get the submission. So I guess that is why I'm a bit disappointed at the moment. But at the same time, there's a couple cool moments in the match. Um, and I hope to represent Jiu-Jitsu a bit better in the next one.
Did anything about Shinya's game plan surprise you? He was more passive and allowed you to dictate the pace. Did you expect him to try and force the issue a little more?
I don't think it was a matter of him not really forcing the issue. It was more just that he couldn't. I was cutting a lot of different angles, staying on his head, and I just felt technically maybe a couple steps ahead. One thing that for sure surprised me was his like the isometric strength on the back, and like when I was on his back, he had very strong wrist control, and it felt like it took forever to finally free my wrist. And the second I did, I'd start looking for the choke, and he'd grab my wrist again. And so he's very strong in that degree. But yeah.
Fans are going nuts about your off the wall back take. How cool is it for you to be seen on the global stage and pulling out moves like that?
That one is pretty dope for sure. That one felt good. I remember I was in the position. I was thinking about like a jumping triangle, and then I looked to my right. The post was right there, and I was like, "Oh, there's no cage. There's a perfect post." I'm like, might as well just try and send it. And so yeah, I went and sent it.
How do you feel out there in the cage overall? Does it give you like those kind of little advantages? Is there other things that you might try in the future?
For sure, for sure. I always try to explore different routes to attacks, and the cage or the circle felt great tonight. I can't wait to get back in there. And really, to be honest, it really motivated me for the MMA in the future too. Everything I want to do, I just want to do to the best of my abilities, and I just can't wait to be back.
Can you talk us through the buggy choke? What was going through your mind? Did you think that was going to end the match?
It definitely was going to end the match for sure. I wish I just had 10 more seconds, 15 more seconds. I set it up in a closed guard position, which is definitely the most far-fetched position to set it up. And but if you get the grip, you lock it up, it's synced in. So once I synced it in, I knew I was going to finish it. There was just short time, and I was hoping to get into side control so I could finish with the lock, but I think I was just a few seconds short on the clock, to be honest.
How big of a name on your legacy and on your hit list is Shinya Aoki for you?
It's a huge one for me. He's definitely way up there. Every time he stepped foot on the jiu-jitsu and MMA scene, he's put amazing performances on. And that was a huge win for me. He's a very tough opponent. One of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners to ever do it in the MMA scene and in jiu-jitsu.
Can you talk to us a little bit about your philosophy in this game? Because you're a lot of fun to watch. There will be fans out there tonight who have never watched submission grappling. So how do you approach this sport, and what are your goals in terms of bringing in new fans to the sport?
Yeah, my goal is just to keep it exciting. I think jiu-jitsu has kind of been one of the slower growing martial arts, because some athletes have really fought in between the rules and, very, strategic and things like that. I just want to look for the submission first. And, looking back, like I said earlier, I think one of the minor adjustments I can make is, creating a bit more space, not trying to force things. And, I wanted that submission so bad. I think I was almost over looking for it, so making sure my opponent kind of gives a little more space that I can attack, like my brother did a perfect job tonight doing.
Well, kind of on that note, being your own worst critic, what would you do differently to secure the submission next time, or if you fought Shinya again?
I felt him pretty exhausted. I think the reason why I didn't get the submission was because he wasn't making too big of mistakes. He's staying very strong with the wrist control and he's keeping his elbows in, and I just couldn't really find a real opportunity, and I was kind of forcing it. So looking back, definitely giving more space and kind of letting him maybe look for underhooks, maybe letting him look for a position, because that's kind of what me and my brother are known for, is counter fighting. And I felt tonight like I was kind of just predominantly just pushing forward, looking for the sub.
Was there anything different about fighting Shinya, who is predominantly an MMA guy? Was there a different style there?
Not a whole lot of difference. I could tell that he was definitely trying to use the cage in his favor. When he was getting tired, he was backing himself up, kind of using that as a little rest point, and it was getting a little frustrating, kind of getting him off it, trying to put him down for a split second. But honestly, I felt super comfortable. I feel like I was born to do this. I was born to be in there, and the next performance, I know for sure I'm going to get the submission.
Do you have a message for the other grapplers in the division?
For sure. This is the best platform in the world for jiu-jitsu right now, and I think it's up to us to try and uplift the sport and keep it exciting. So, as my brother did tonight, had a perfect performance. I tried my best, tried to push the action, and hopefully you guys all can do the same. And let's get it.
What is the status of your transition to MMA at the moment?
Yeah, so my brother and I, we've been training a lot back home in California, mixing up a lot more. Honestly, for this camp, I would say we almost trained a bit more MMA than jiu-jitsu. So we have a few more things we really want to accomplish this year. We want to get a couple more submission-only events under our belt, and I still have that big ADCC event in September. But as soon as after that, so basically towards the end of the year or maybe early next year, we'll be stepping foot in the circle with the gloves this time or that time.
You spoke before about maybe wanting to do like one submission grappling, one MMA match with Shinya. Is that something that appeals to you, or after the fact, have you changed your mind about that? What are your thoughts?
1,000%. If he's up for it, I'd love to. That'd be an amazing first match for me, to step foot in the MMA scene. I felt pretty dominant here tonight, and I feel like I would have the same result in MMA. So, whenever he's up for it in the future, with all due respect, that would be an awesome match.
We've had a really beautiful contrast on the card tonight. Submission grappling and then pure striking, some of the best Nak Muays on the planet. I know you must have been focused on your own match, but has anybody stood out to you? Did you notice any of the other martial artists tonight? Is there anyone you like from the world of striking?
For sure. As you said, kind of before the match, I was in my zone. I had my earplugs in, warming up with my brother. I didn't get to watch a ton of the matches. I did see one of the ladies hit a beautiful armbar finish off the triangle. For me, that was amazing. And especially, her opponent leading into it was saying something about how the strength was going to overcome the technique, and kind of happened the opposite there, right? So that was awesome to see jiu-jitsu shine in the MMA there. And I hope to do the same in the future.
Could you give us a hint on who is next and perhaps when we'll see you again?
For sure. There's nothing 100% booked. As I mentioned in an earlier interview, you guys have recently signed Tyne and Delbra onto your one athlete team, and for me, I think that'd be an amazing matchup. Like I said before, we're previously teammates, and I think there's a bit of history in that matchup for sure. I wouldn't say a rivalry, but a bit of tension possibly, and that's a huge win for me. That's one that I would definitely want to get under my belt, and if he's up for it, let's go for sure.
Well, a winning start, Kade Ruotolo. Congratulations. Welcome to One. Great stuff. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Andrew. Right on.